Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Haley Z. That is so freshman year. We need to think of something new. I just want to thank you guys so much for all the love on my Jeep Wrangler pros and cons of daily driving video. I mean, that's a mouthful, but that video blew up and did so well. Thank you so much for all the love on that. I'm assuming that some of that audience stuck around, subscribed, because my engagements have been off the charts lately. Thank you guys so much. I thought I should make another Jeep Wrangler video before I do my tour of my Jeep, which is long awaited, but she needs to be clean first. I just need to figure out my life for a second. I've been getting tons of questions on advice for what to look for in a Jeep Wrangler if you're looking to buy one. And I actually do kind of have some background in that, so I thought I should share my advice. Whether you believe it's right or wrong, this is just what I looked for and kind of the trend that I followed while looking for a Jeep. I think my first bit of advice is to buy from a private seller. I made the mistake of buying from a dealership, and the only reason why I say that is because you can, first of all, negotiate better with a private buyer, and you also know the history of the vehicle, whether they used it mostly for off-road or if they drove it mostly on pavement. You kind of get the background of what you're kind of going to be dealing with whenever you buy the vehicle, because if you buy a Jeep that was driven a lot off-road, chances are you're going to have to replace a lot of stuff on it. Definitely the stuff going on underneath, that's all really hard on a vehicle whenever you take that off-roading. I mean, that's what Jeeps are for, definitely, no doubt, you know, going off-road, taking them, having fun with them, but it does take a toll on the vehicle, and if you're looking to buy one that's kind of priced heavily, then that's a question that you should ask. Another thing I personally looked for was finding a Jeep that had a lot of the major stuff already done to it. Like, I needed a Jeep that already had the big meaty tires on them and had the lift and re-geared already, because I knew that I wasn't going to put out the money to do that stuff. So I would rather just put that cost in with the Jeep whenever I bought it than to be doing a separate payment on that too. That's personal preference. A lot of people like to do their own stuff to the Jeep, and I totally respect that, but that is just not something that I wanted to do. I didn't want to get a Jeep with like stock tires, stock lift. I wanted it already done to it. I wanted that included in the price. So that's also something to look for. If you're looking at a Jeep that's kind of higher priced, that's why, because they put new tires on it, they probably put new rims on it, they put a lift on it, and they re-geared. That's all really expensive, so don't question that in the price, because a lot of people do get offended by that. They're like, my Jeep is fairly priced because I put all this work into it. Even some work that you don't see, like re-gearing. It's really different buying a Jeep or shopping for a Jeep than it is looking for a regular car, because, I mean, think about it. Whenever you're looking for a car, you're looking for something with low miles and looks good, not a lot of damage to the interior. But whenever you're looking for a Jeep, you're also looking at all the extra stuff put onto it and all the stuff done behind the scenes, like fixing brake rotors and all that extra stuff. That all costs money, and if you can, try to find somebody who saved all the receipts for that so they can kind of justify why they priced it at that point. I definitely keep all the receipts for everything that I've had done to my Jeep, all the stuff that I've put on it, all the repairs that I've had to do. I keep all those receipts in my center console, because I know that if I ever go to sell it, that I want all that proven that I put that work into it, because you don't see that from the outside. You don't see that I had all my rotors replaced. I just personally find that important for somebody to be able to justify their price point and why they have it put at that. This may not be important to you, but this was another thing that I looked at, was brand names. I looked at what brand my lift was and everything. I was looking if that's a good brand, because a lot of people do look at that. I actually got pulled over on the road one day where somebody literally was just looking at my Jeep. They were like, "You got a nice little thing going on." I was like, "Yeah, she's pretty." And they were like, "Oh, you got like rough country lift," like all this stuff, and I never found that important, but I think that's another thing to put in there, that you don't want somebody who just went the cheap way, because you are going to be paying for that later. Another thing, buying from a dealership, what we definitely had to do when we bought my Jeep was negotiate like crazy. Like, you can't walk in there being like, "Oh my god, I love this Jeep Wrangler." Like, that is so not me. And whenever I watch that vlog of whenever I bought my Jeep, I shouldn't have done that, because then they don't want to negotiate the price. They know you want that. So if you're buying from a dealership, definitely ask a lot of questions, act like you don't really like it, and you'll get a better price on it for sure. Another secret little tip, if you buy at the end of the month, they want to meet their like quote on how many cars they sold. I'm pretty sure this is what I've heard. Definitely buy at the end of the month if you can, because it's just better. They want to meet their quote for the month, and they'll probably give you a better deal on it. I hope. That's what I've heard. My biggest point that I'm trying to make here is that I just think that it's really, really important to really notice all the work that was actually put into that Jeep, so you kind of can tell why it's priced so high, because a lot of Jeeps are priced insanely high and you're like, why? It has 100,000 miles on it and it's just a Jeep. Like, why is the price so high? But you have to look at how expensive the rims are. Whenever you buy a Jeep, you're paying for 5 rims, not 4. And same with tires. You're paying for 5 tires instead of 4. Keep that in mind, especially with a private seller, because there's all this work that goes on behind the scenes that you don't even see. But if you ask them and they justify it, then it could actually be a really good deal. So if you have any other advice for getting a good deal on a Wrangler, definitely comment it down below and you could be helping somebody else out too. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my vlog channel, and it'll be linked at the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed.